Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast, the only live streaming in-person arts and entertainment podcast covering northeastern Pennsylvania, offering a true alternative voice in local media. We're coming to you from the brand new NEPA Scene studio underneath Center City Print in downtown Scranton. I'm Rich Howells, the founder and editor of NEPA Scene, and tonight we're here with Lancaster emo hip-hop artist Layul, who is set to release her debut EP, Scene 1, on Saturday, November 25th, before she performs with Phat Beatz at the Woodlands, Screaming Infidelities Emo Night at Telus 360, the V-Spot, Stage West, and State College, and Harrisburg Midtown Arts Center. You can join our conversation in the comments down below. We would love to hear from you guys. I think we already have somebody commenting on YouTube, so that's a good start. So yeah, if you want to throw in anything in our conversation, you have any questions for Layul, anything you want to add to our music discussion, please make sure you leave that down below. Before we dive in, I just want to thank our sponsor, Center City Print, who I'll put up on the screen because we have a very nice coupon code you can use. There we go. Center City Print can bring your ideas to life in 3 locations: Scranton, Kingston, and the new Hazleton store. These one-stop shops are locally owned and operated, offering high-quality printed products, copy and custom print services, and design solutions to help you, your small business, your nonprofit organization, your band, your photography, your art project, or any venture thrive. Visit them now at centercityprint.com and use promo code NEPAScene online or in person for 10% off. So if you need somewhere for your flyers locally, that's definitely the place to go.
Facts.
NEPA Scene is also the media sponsor of the return of the Cabinet Holiday Show at the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre on New Year's Eve, Sunday, December 31st. The music begins at 8:30 with Mike Miz and the Northeast Extension, and you can ring in the new year with some of northeastern Pennsylvania's best musicians. Tickets are only $35 in advance, and they're on sale now at kirbycenter.org. We hope to see you there. And I'd like to thank Ionic Development as well. Justin is hanging out in the back tonight, producing. So we appreciate them for making the live stream move smooth and moving the camera off of my bald head and onto the star of tonight's podcast. So, Layul, did you grow up in Lancaster?
Yeah, like for the most part, I've lived there for a good majority of my life.
So you grew up there. Did you like growing up there? Is it a good place to grow up?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely blessed because I got all sides of Lancaster. So like, there's Lancaster County, like that's more like country,
Right.
and then we got the city. So I've lived in both, and I appreciate aspects of both. It's not my favorite place in the world, if I'm allowed to say that.
I don't know if anyone would actually say that,
Yeah,
other than
like,
maybe the Amish, perhaps.
Yeah, right. They seem to really love it.
Yeah, they enjoy
They're
it.
digging deep. Yeah, so, yeah, I definitely, as a kid, like, no beef really with Lancaster. But now I'm like, I would like to see myself somewhere else, but I do love it. Yeah. It's got a part of me.
So, how did you discover music originally? Is it something that like you grew up with your parents, or your friends introduced you? Like, how did you get into music?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say I've always loved it. Like, for as long as I could remember. I remember being, before even school, like listening to Elvis. Like, I love like listening to Elvis CD, and like I took drum lessons, like mad young. Like, I've always had a thing for it. Writing, I would write like raps, like to like Lil Wayne instrumentals, like when I was like, probably like 10, 11, 12. Like, I've always enjoyed it. My dad was really into music. He would talk about it a lot. So he was kind of like he really liked like the classics, like Elton John, like Jimi Hendrix. Like, he loved artists like that. So I get a lot of inspiration from him, like my music, like love, I would say, because he would always like talk about it. That's what he loved. Like, he loved to talk about it. So I don't know. I would say it's just always been a part of my life, but nothing really like how it is now. I never even imagined for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like, when you're growing up, or anybody's growing up, there's the music you're exposed to, like, in your house.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, the music you discover that means something to you. That's,
Yeah.
like, your music,
True.
so to speak. So, like, when did that happen?
Man, probably, like, middle school. Like, I was introduced to bands like The Maine and Fall Out Boy and, like, that real, like... That was, like, popular music back then.
It was, yeah.
So, my brother and my sister, they're older than me. Not by much, but still older. So, I remember, like, driving around in the car with them, and they would play that kind of music. And I'd be, like, in the backseat, like, singing along to Boys Like Girls or something like that. Like, I just loved that kind of music. Like, I fell in love with it. So, that's kind of, I would say, like, me. Like, that's still what I listen to this day, pretty much, those kinds of bands.
Now, was that around the time that, like, you started writing it, or were you writing?
Yeah, like, I was definitely writing then, but not as in a sense of, like, this is what I'm gonna do. It was just fun for me. Like, I remember, like, showing my sister, like, some songs that I wrote, like, in middle school maybe, and she was like, why would you even write that? Like, she's like, that's weird. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of weird. Like, I'm like, I could see Jason Mraz sing this song, and I would, like, sing it to my sister, and she'd be like, what? Like, I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just weird for, like, a 12-year-old, 13-year-old to, like, think, oh, Jason Mraz is gonna sing this song that I wrote. Like, but that's what I would think to myself. Like, I just thought it was, like, fun. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was all just, like, fun for me to do.
So at that point, you hadn't really thought about doing it yourself.
Not at all. It was never. Yeah.
When was that, when did you reach that point where you're like, I think I could do this?
That was, like, a battle that I had with myself from, like, maybe 2016 to 2020. 2020 is when I made that decision to, like, I'm going to do this. I told people I'm doing it, and with every intention, did it. But the seed was definitely planted in my head way back when. Yeah, but I was just too, like, nervous.
Yeah, well, I mean, coming from a writer's perspective myself, there's the personality you have as a writer, which is usually kind of like, a wallflower, or somebody maybe who, like, keeps to themselves, or, like, spends a lot of time alone, because writing is a very lonely sort of thing. And then being a performer and talking in front of people and stuff is a totally different thing altogether. So, like, how do you make that transition? Did you just kind of just dive in? Yeah,
it was just, if you don't do it, you'll never do it. And that's like so basic. But I finally got to that point where it was like, man, it's doing nothing for the rest of your life, or, like, trying to enjoy it. So that was, like, a huge step for me to, like, I feel like that's the number one thing an artist has to do, is overcome themselves.
Sure.
Like, so that's what it was for me. It was just a moment that I had of, like, I'm going to be miserable forever unless I tried to do something.
Right.
So I kind of, like, made myself get over that fear. And I say it was a quick thing, but that's what I mean. Seed planted, there's clearly some growth in there that happens, some change that happens, and then it happens. Like, you, like, are able to do it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what it was.
Right.
A big push.
Well, it's interesting, because when the pandemic started, and we were still trying to do interviews the best that we could, live streaming, things like that, in a safe environment, everybody socially distanced, masks, the whole 9 yards and stuff. And a lot of people said the same thing, like, there's going to be so much music after this. Yeah. Because everybody is stuck in that writing mode. You're stuck in that, and even just some of the bands I've talked to here recently kind of said, like, they formed during the band, because it's all people, like, emailing stuff back and forth, or like, hey, like, I think it's safe if I could just go to your house and 2 or 3 of us hang out, like, that sort of thing. And so I feel like we're gonna see a whole renaissance of new music just out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
And it is kind of crazy because I know a few artists that maybe like would kind of say the same thing. They started around then. So I think it was like kind of a motivator for people.
Yeah.
Just like stuck in the house, like.
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, I know. That's how it worked for me, I guess.
That's good because you either and that's life in general, I guess. You either waste the time or you use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
And we knew this thing wasn't going to last forever, or there was just going to be a point where people are just going to say fuck it and they're just going to go out.
Literally.
So there's not really much of a choice. So
yeah,
like,
either
you
way.
got to, how often do we all get months off of work, or like months at least in a way? I know not everybody got that, but some of us were fortunate enough to at least.
I was not that fortunate for a while because I worked at Target at the time, and we was busy.
Yeah.
That place was packed every day. Every day for a year.
I feel bad for all the essential workers and stuff like that had to go through that. And it was just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
But from a writing perspective, were you taking old stuff? Were you writing all new stuff? Like, what were you writing in that time? Like, what was on your mind? What were you thinking about? Like, what were you writing about?
Yeah, I mean, it was essentially like all. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that because I do write a lot from my past. I guess I take inspiration from that, but it was really all relatively new because I've never really intentionally tried to write songs for really ever. So that was the first time that I'm like, how do I construct a song? Like it was just writing back then. And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a poetry sort of thing?
Yeah, kind of like poetry. Like, it was like journaling for a while that turned into kind of like poetry, like spoken word type stuff, just like for my own pleasure, like for my own relief. Like that's what I would do daily. But yeah, so that's when I was like, dang, how do I structure a song? Like, how do I be intentional about making something? So that was like that was a process for me because as you can imagine, like poetry is definitely not the same as a song. Like nothing really repeats and like there's no catchiness really to it. It's just either a story or like facts or metaphor, whatever you concoct is really what it is, but like it's not a song.
Right.
So like that was really difficult. It took me a long time. I would say now like I'm the best I've been, but I've been practicing for years every day. Right. So like songwriting comes way more natural to me, but now it's like hard for me to like sometimes write like actual like it's kind of weird how that worked. I like traded one for the other.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So from is Layul the artist, the person that you see on stage? Is that you, or is that kind of something that you've had to maybe construct or build or whatever to be able to put yourself out on stage? Like, is that really? Do you feel like that's more of an authentic you, or is that more of because your lyrics are pretty personal and you're putting a lot of personal stuff out there. Yeah, it's very much me 1000%. And it's so funny because when people ask me kind of like the opposite question, like what is Layul or who is Layul, like I have a hard time even answering because I just think about myself and it's like, what do? It's like, oh, I wake up, I eat breakfast, like I might play a game or like, I pick my nephew up from school, like that is Layul. Like that's what I think about. I think about my daily every day. So it is so funny to think. It's definitely, I have trouble separating it. Now it's not really an issue. I wonder if in my future it will be an issue. But for now it's like very much Layul is me to the fullest. Yeah. Is that your your personality in everyday life? Are you similar to that onstage persona, or are they very different? Like, are your friends like, who is this person, or is it the opposite? I don't know. I would think that I'm probably just myself. Like, I'm a little shy. I'm a little awkward. I make it weird, but I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I would say that's very much me. Like,
I am very serious. I can be a very serious person, so like I get deep with my lyrics. I don't like things that aren't really meaningful, but I'm very like fun and like easygoing. Not a good dancer. Like you could very much see everything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it is just what it is. Yeah, I'm putting my all into it. Yeah, it's so funny.
Well, too, coming into this, people hear something, and I know genres aren't something that an artist always wants to use. It's kind of a shorthand to at least tell people kind of an idea of what you're doing. People hear something like emo rap, and they have no idea kind of what to expect from that.
They're like, dang.
Yeah, or, do you often kind of find yourself, like, defying, like, what preconceived notions people might have about, like, what that is?
1,000. I think I've been doing that my entire life, so I think that just comes natural to me to not fit in to no one's box. Is very much me. Like, I've always been doing that. So, yeah, like, it is pretty much me. Like, I guess it does describe it. But I've probably touched almost every genre since I've started. Like, just going to the studio, I have so many friends that make music. Like, I've hopped on everything, like, try to feature on everything. It's just fun for me to, like, find what I like, to, like, taste those sounds. Like, that's something I had to do to, like, find my sound. So, like, I'm definitely starting to be more than emo rap. Where it isn't, that's kind of that's like my core.
Right.
But I definitely, but I don't mind the label. That doesn't bother me. Because it does summarize pretty well the vision. Just how do you, like, emo rap plus guitar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. There's
like,
not quite a term for it yet.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, it is essentially it. So doesn't really bug me. Because I'll do anything. But I'll always be like what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like any genre of music, rap and hip hop has kind of a certain image that people have in mind as well of, the artist. And that, so you're coming in with kind of a different look, a different sound that mixes, different influences. Do you get a lot of pushback about those things, or do people kind of come in and they find that refreshing? Like, oh, cool, something different, not just the same thing again.
Yeah, I mean, I think I get a little bit of both. Some people definitely... I would say it's just about, like, whether your openness to music or what you already like. People that are open, I think they tend to find that, like, they're like, dang, this is not what I expected. But it is, like, enjoyable. I like it. But I do get some people that's like, oh, this sounds like Juice WRLD, or this sounds like this person did it. And I'm like, I get that. But I feel like, you know what I mean?
That's kind of a compliment, though, really.
Yeah, I mean, like...
If they could point that out so specifically.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I do get a little bit of both. But that's fine with me. It's helpful, it's helpful to get feedback on, like, I don't know. You learn from it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially because you're just kind of in the starting out sort of stage.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I feel like, rap, hip-hop, that sort of stuff has a lot of, like, bravado to it, which maybe does not, at least in the experience of many of the people that I've interviewed in the genre, they're not exactly thrilled about feedback unless it's something really positive.
Yeah.
Like they kind of, there's a little bit of that, with bravado comes like a little bit of ego and a little bit of, that sort of thing. So like, it doesn't seem like you're coming into that in the same way.
No, not, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like musicians kind of be like that. They kind of be
true.
touchy on it.
You're right, yeah, it does expand beyond that genre, for sure.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if you, yeah. But I don't know, like, it depends on, I guess, who's giving it. But then again, like, everyone's going to give you their opinion. Yeah. And that's why we need to be, like, filter whose opinion might be a little bit valid.
Right.
Rather than whose isn't. Yeah. So, like, that's I really only will accept it, receive it, if it's from someone that I trust or maybe look up to. Because everyone's, how many times I get off stage and they're like, what would be cool if you did this? And I'm like, well, thank you for telling me, random guy from the
Right,
state.
but-
Like,
but
I
that ain't me.
appreciate it. Yeah, like, but that means nothing to me. Like,
Right.
if someone, like, that I respected and was just like, hey, like, as your friend, this is not good. Like, I would hope that they would tell me. You know what
Sure.
I mean? And I would respect it. Yeah.
So who are some of maybe your personal musical heroes or influences? You know, the people that you would want to listen to if they had something to say.
Yeah, 1000. Dang. Well, R.I.P. Juice WRLD is definitely an influence, and I would say Mac Miller for sure. Like for my hip hop influences, they're probably my two biggest for present and growing up. For that, definitely, Cute is what we aim for sure. I'm blanking on it. Oh, the Wonder Years. They're definitely like huge inspirations in like lyrics. Like that's where I get a lot of like my writing style from. Is like that punk kind of.
Yeah.
Like emo Midwestern kind of like genre, like modern baseball, like that kind of style. Like
I wonder yours are kind of semi-local in that like, Philly sort of area.
Yeah, I think they're from Philly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely like a lot of inspiration there, and I get a lot of inspiration from like Lauren Daigle. She like a gospel singer.
Okay.
But I really love like her lyrics, and like I think she's creative in her music. It's like inspiring to listen to. I don't listen to a lot of like slower stuff, but she makes a lot of slower stuff. So I feel like it gives me like that inspiration without tapping into like my lane for like. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
So what is the? I'm sure you. I should say Lancaster, right? You
Yeah,
know, I mean,
Lancaster.
that's
it's
really
okay. I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I was like, this is your show.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
no,
correct you
could-
on your own show.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can say
Well,
whatever
people
you want.
from Lancaster say Lancaster.
Lancaster.
Yeah,
Lanc.
you know, up here. Yeah, I mean, we can't even say Scranton, right? We say Scranton.
Stuff.
We take the T right out of it.
Yeah.
And then Wilkes-Barre, Wilkes-Barre. We fight over that of whether it's Wilkes-Barre.
Which one is it?
It's technically Wilkes-Barre. It's because you have two names being combined. Wilkes and Barre was French, so it should be Barre.
Yeah, that guy's probably pissed.
Yeah,
He's like,
I'd
"Dang."
imagine
He's like, dang.
It might be why Wilkes-Barre is in the condition that it's in. He's just haunting.
He might
He's
be.
so mad because people keep
mispronouncing his
mispronounce
name.
it. Yeah, because I mean, you look at it, and you think bear, like
Yeah.
you know,
Bear.
Bear. Yeah, exactly. Like,
That's what I think.
yeah.
But people say Barry. I feel weird saying Barry.
Yeah, it's strange. It really
Yeah,
is.
like-
I catch myself saying Wilkes-Barre all the time.
Yeah.
Even though, like, in my head, I know it's Barry.
I
But
just-
anyway.
Yeah.
So the music scene in the place they call Lancaster,
That's what they say.
I can't imagine it's a hotbed of hip-hop unless you maybe count Amish Paradise.
Yeah. Which was a bop.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
exactly.
bop.
I'm sure they probably still listen to that on their gramophones or whatever they use there, you know. But
Yeah, right.
other than that, what is the music scene in that area like?
Yeah, it's so funny because there are so many artists, but not a lot of places give artists like the stage, the voice. So I know a lot of people that make hip hop music there, but there's probably not a lot of people there that know that they make hip hop music. So like that's
Right.
kind of the unfortunate part about it. There's not many places to perform at, just period. And it's like Lancaster's a poppin' area. So like places that have live music, they wanna not do hip hop. Like they want
Right.
people with a band in there. And like even though I don't always just do hip hop, like I don't have a band. So like that's a weird thing. But yeah, hip hop scene in general, I feel like it's just we're kinda like the black sheep. No one really wants us. But like they all love us deep down. I know everyone has Drake on their phone. At least one song, God's Plan. Someone's got it, but they don't want to like appreciate younger hip hop. It's just not cool. It's not cool to be in your city saying you're a rapper. No one likes that. You know what I'm saying?
It's so strange, isn't it?
It's so strange, and yet
Yeah.
here we are.
Well, and it's a very similar experience to a lot of the people that I talk to up here as well.
Okay, word.
Not a lot of venues want to showcase rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are they kind of are like, oh, you're a rapper, and they kind of look at you. They either laugh or they're like kind of like, oh yeah, you're a rapper from Scranton or Wilkes-Barre or whatever.
Yeah, it's not taken serious.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and yet that is what they listen to. I see it all the time. Like I host the open mic at the V-Spot on Tuesdays. These guys come out and they put on these great shows, and they're really good, and usually they get a good amount of attention from people there.
Yeah.
And the people that don't, as soon as the night is over and the jukebox comes on, that's what they're putting on.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, where did you think these guys started? Because they certainly didn't just appear out of nowhere. They had to go to open mics and stuff too.
I know, it's so wild. Yeah, like it's so wild. I remember. We go to Telus 360 open mic pretty regular on a Monday. That's probably the biggest bar in Lancaster. And we go so consistently. And I remember the first time we went, it was not taken well. Like, I went one time, and I brought everyone. I texted all my friends, and I was like, hey, we're going here. There was probably 10 of us that showed up all rapping in a row. People were pissed. But now, like, we go there and, like, people, like, appreciate it. They appreciate, like, the hustle. Like, people know, they're like, dang, we know you're gonna be there. Like, oh, we haven't come in so many weeks. Like, y'all inspire me because y'all keep going. Like, people literally used to definitely shit on us a little bit when we were there. Like, judge it for real. But here we are a year later, and, like, they're seeing, and they're like, dang, like,
yeah,
y'all really just like kept on doing that. Like, just kept on going. So, like, I think that's cool. Like, and now, like, rap is a little bit more like appreciated. Like, randoms can go in there now and people won't walk out. But like we really set that role for real. Like, people would walk out on people rapping, like, at the open mics. And I'm like, man, we're gonna go every week and bring mad people. And that's what we did. It's so wild, though, because they don't take to it the first time as they did the 100th time.
Right. And maybe it is that determination that maybe, like, people, okay, if they're taking it seriously, maybe I should take it seriously.
Yeah,
too.
maybe that's a good thought around it.
Yeah. So where are maybe some of the places that people can see you when you are live?
Yo, shout out to V-Spot, because I feel like I'm there every month almost. It's awesome to be there. So I'm pretty sure I played there on December 1st.
That's right, yeah.
I'm not good with dates, but I'm glad that one's right.
I got all that stuff.
You got all the dates?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
and I can put them all up on the screen and stuff too. Yeah, we're all high tech here. I know.
Yeah,
right?
I like that. Would have taken me 20 minutes to type it in the comments.
Yep. So we have Wednesday, November 22nd with Phat Beatz at the Woodlands and Wilkes-Barre. Saturday, November 25th at Emo Night at Telus 360. Sunday, November 26th in Jersey, of all places. We'll talk about that. But yeah, V-Spot is Friday, December 1st.
Yeah, stoked.
And that's an Emo Night. And then December 2nd at Stage West and State College.
Yeah.
And then New Year's Eve, too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, that should be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a wild show. I'm sure it'll be. We just did a show there for Halloween, and that was wild.
I can't even imagine, like, what. So let's get into these emo nights. So the format, for those who aren't aware, the emo night thing is kind of a DJ karaoke type hybrid sort of thing where they're playing these songs and people can get up, grab the mic, sing along to it and stuff like that. It's this big communal thing. It's really cool. It's really fun. If that's the kind of music you grew up with, that's the kind of music you love like that. I mean, you can't really get much better than that. But what I like what Joe Cavison has done with some of these is book some bands and artists and things like that too, and add a live element to it where it's not just that.
Yeah.
So you're kind of coming in. So people, let's say somebody's buying a ticket to this, they're coming in, they want to hear the songs that they want to hear. Like they're expecting to hear and sing along to those songs, and they walk in and they're like, "Who's this?
Me.
This person doing their own original stuff."
Yeah.
Is that intimidating to walk into that at all?
No, like I really see it as opportunity to kind of like, showcase like these could like be my people. Like I grew up with that music. I draw a lot of influence from that music. Like I feel like it's kind of like the perfect opportunity for a crowd because it's kind of the fan base that I would want anyways.
Right.
So it kind of gives me opportunity to really like show them like that I get it. Like people that listen to that music listen to that music. So as someone that listens to that music, I don't branch out that much neither.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of convincing for me to add a new artist to my playlist.
Sure.
But that's what I do every freaking week that I do it. Like, I try hard. Like, I try to get better every time. Like, it is intimidating, but really at the same time, it's not. Like, it's my job. It's what I do.
Let's talk about those crowd reactions that you get. Like what have you seen? What are the reactions on people's faces? What are they saying to you maybe after the show? Like, how is that?
Definitely, like, a lot of people at first don't expect it. Like, don't expect me. One, they always tell me they don't expect me to sing well. Because most of the time I will perform with my track. Some people have beef with that. As a hip-hop artist, that's, like, pretty normal to, like, perform with your track. But they always tell me, like, oh, I heard you and your track, and it sounded so similar. That's one thing that people are always surprised about. That, like, I can actually sing, I guess. Like... Then I guess it's like...
Gee, thanks. Right?
Yeah, I'm like, wow. Like, what does a person that sings looks like? But, yeah, so that's like the biggest one that I get. Like, people just aren't expecting it to be of quality. Like, they're expecting, like, oh, you're rapping. And then by, like, the second or third song, that's normally when I start to see, like, like, bodies are turning and, like, facing me, like, people are paying attention. People in the back of the room are, like, I can see them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it does take convincing because people don't want that at first. They want what they came for. But I feel like I definitely changed that, at least for someone in that room every time.
I mean, that's the job of the opening act, right?
Yeah, set the vibe.
Yeah.
Totally.
So we want to get into the EP that you have come out. It's called Scene 1, and we here at NEPA Scene love that title. That's great. We love scene puns. Scene. We love the word scene. Yeah, exactly. So that's fantastic.
10 points for me.
Yeah, 100%. Before that came out, you released a few other songs over the last couple of years.
For sure.
So let's talk about those. There was Never Change, Big Money, 27 Club, Ben 10. Let's maybe talk a little bit about how those came about.
Yeah, Ben 10, 27 Club. They were like, I don't know how to say it, but as an artist, like, I felt like, okay, that was like me one-upping myself from my last what I did. So I was like, that was definitely like a shift for me in what I made. And then, I don't know what came next. Never Change or Big Money, but that was like a huge shift from like, that was very much kind of like a rap rock type vibe. Like, where the other stuff was very much like emo rap. So I kind of like, that's kind of when I found like, dang, I love both so much. Like, I can't choose. You know what I mean? Like, Never Change was, I think, the first song like that I did. So it was very different for me to, like, hop on a beat like that. That's just a YouTube beat.
Okay.
Like, Big Money was made by a producer at Wabash Studios in Lancaster. So once I was like, dang, this is fire, like my producer was like, you gotta do more like that. So that's when we kind of did Big Money, I think. That's when that came about. So we just kind of intentionally like made something like that. Yeah, I was stoked.
And how did that lead into the songs that you're putting out? Now, some of these have maybe been out in other forms before, and now like they're kind of getting a more
two like that have been out, and then 3 new ones.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What was the question? I forget.
So coming into these songs, how do you feel like maybe you progressed from those earlier tracks into this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm always trying to, I'm going to use the phrase again, like one up myself. Like if I make a song, I know it can be better. So like really, like Ben 10, Big Money, these are like the first songs that I've made that like I liked kind of. So like really finding what I liked from those 2 songs and figuring a way to make it better and merge them. Like if that makes any sense. Like so it was a lot of, I would write, man, to every 100 songs I'm writing, I think that maybe 10 of them are good. So I really do like, I put my songs through a process of tests, and if they don't make the test, they're not coming out. Like so I really put a lot of thought into them, whereas before I was just like, oh, that's cool, I'm going to do it. Oh, that's cool, I'm going to do it. Where the EP now is like, that's like really me thinking deep about, man, what do I like and what do I want to like represent myself as, like in a sound type of way.
So you're calling this your debut EP, really? You're putting this out there as kind of like...
Yeah, it's definitely like, man, I've taken everything I've learned, and now this is like what I can confidently say I love and it's me. Whereas before, like songs that I put out, they weren't not that, but they weren't like thought through, or maybe I could have spent some more time on it or made the beat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like not just found a beat off of YouTube, but these are all like really my own, from music to lyrics. It really is just every part of me.
So one of the things we like to do when somebody's releasing something new, we kind of have a little segment. I'm still kind of workshopping if it's going to have a name or not.
Okay, yeah.
I think we might go with the breakdown, because there's breakdowns and some. Yeah, you get it.
I like it.
So we're going to go track by track of the new EP, 5 songs in this case.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of tell me something about each one. Whether it is something that inspired the song, like what is the story behind this particular song, or something about the writing of the song, or whatever you...
Just a fun fact.
Whatever you would like to share
like
about each ones of these. So yeah, that works well. So the first one is New Jersey.
Yeah.
So we hinted at this a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I'll give story for this one. Okay. Most people want to hear the story.
Yeah.
I was told to tell the story. It's a good one. Really, it was like last summer. I was driving to Costco with my sister and my nephew. Traffic was terrible. Jersey driver in front of us, really, really bugging me. And I did the classic emo kid thing to do, and I hit the Tom DeLonge voice and just like freestyled the hook, like, fuck New Jersey, I hate that place. Garden State is literally on the license plate. It did not take much for me to hit the next bar. Like, it was right there for me. So like, I literally it was like, man, and me and my sister were dying. Like, we were laughing so hard. We thought that was so funny. And I was like, I am writing that down. I am working on that in the future, and I'm making a song from that. And like, it's so wild because, man, like I just went to YouTube, found like a hip hop beat, because that's what I normally did, like a looped kind of chill beat, and it was like originally like a rap song. It was so funny. So like, that's like an even funnier part about it is it was not supposed to be like really like an emo, like punk, like acoustic song at all. And it really turned into be such like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Where it started as a joke, and it has really meaningful lyrics. Like, I probably cried writing the verse. I'm not exactly sure, but knowing me, it's possible that I could have cried. And now it's like, I just sing it willy-nilly everywhere I go. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so funny. That's the funniest song to me. Like, that is so popular, man. It was just like, I never expected it to be how it's like connecting with people. That's so dope to me. So cool. It's exactly what you want as an artist.
Well, it's when you were doing it at the Electric City Music Conference,
Yeah.
the Steamtown Music Awards ceremony.
Yeah.
People were singing along to it right away.
Yeah.
They totally got that hook right away.
Yeah, it's catchy. Like, it is catchy, yeah, and it's like people like, it's such an attention grabber. That's like one of the things where when I start that song,
Yeah.
everyone's heads are whipping around. Everyone's like, what? Not New Jersey. Like, oh, like, but then all their friends are around, like, laughing, like, you can see it, just like, they're like, man, they feel it. They feel it, and they're letting their friends know that they feel it. That's so cool to see from up on stage. Like, I just be grilling people, really, I guess. Thank God for the lights. I don't know if they can see my eyes, but I be really watching people.
Well, it's funny too, because for those that haven't heard it, "Fuck New Jersey" is pretty prominent in
It's
that.
the starting line.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's
right
a good
there.
opener. I felt like.
So I'm curious how that's going to go over in New Jersey.
You know what? I do have some Jersey friends. My best friend from New Jersey. And they love it. I think even the New Jerseyans relate to it.
That's that was my second thought. Was at first I'm like, well, wait, who has pride in being from Jersey?
No one says they're from
they
Jersey.
say fuck Jersey.
Yeah,
exactly.
No one says that. They say New York, Philly, Delco. I don't care what they say. No one says Jersey.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Now I get it more than ever, though. I didn't quite know how strong the feelings were.
Because you're probably getting everyone's Jersey story now.
I am.
Why they like Jersey or hate Jersey.
Literally, I think it's cool. I think it's cool to hear. Like, I actually do get random stories, so that's kind of wild. Yeah.
All right, so the second track is "Bad Time."
Yeah, Bad Time. This is a song that I wrote because people told me I didn't write fun music. They were like, man, all your stuff's so sad. And I'm like, well, let me change that. So this was kind of just like, I don't want to say mindless because everything is intentional, like I said. But it does kind of like take some of the emotion off of everything for me. And it's just kind of just like a hip-hop song. Just something that I had fun doing. But like making it again kind of my own, so the beat is kind of like a pop, kind of like Chainsmokers type trap. I don't want to say trap, but rap, hip hop beat. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it does have like flair of me, but still like a little less lyrical and a little more fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So off the gas.
Off the gas. This is like one of my favorites for real. It's definitely a hip hop song, and this is so funny. The first time I tried to record that song, I sang one line. I went to some dude's like garage studio. I hit one line, and he was like, "I'm just gonna tell you right now, I sing it hard and loud, and like, it's definitely a heavy song, but it's pretty upbeat." But he was like, "I'm not recording this song." He's like, I'm not gonna be able to do it because I was just singing so loud on this track. And I was just like so bummed when I wrote it. I was like, dang, I'm never gonna get to hear this song. It took me 2 years, like 2 years to record that song. So I had to like go to a good studio. So I was just belting out this song. Like, that's something that always sticks in my head. The guy was like, I love this song, but we're not gonna do it here. I always think about it now every time. Like, I don't know if you've listened to it, but yeah, I do really sing it. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. It's probably one of my favorites. The producer that made the track, it's his favorite. He told me he listens to it in the car all the time.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's a good review.
That's a very good review.
Yeah, it bumps in the car. Check. Yeah.
Same Fit.
Same Fit. This is a song that's already out, so people can check it out now before it goes away and re-releases on EP. But
Is it a slightly different version or is it the same?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
Because I don't actually know.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, this song is like very different for me. It's very poppy, like it beat wise. I had fun making it. The lyrics are like super deep, and again, it's just like one of those deceiving songs that, you know, if you actually read the lyrics or like listened to the lyrics or stopped to think about it, it would be like, dang, like that might be pretty messed up. But it's like a fun beat. It's a upbeat. I enjoy it. Like, it's very different for me, but at the same time, it's like kind of just my far end of like pop. So I don't know. I'm like a star, like, I guess. Like, each point is like a like pop, rap, like that punk, and it just kind of like is more on the poppy end of it.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's a solid metaphor.
Like, you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah,
That's how I picture it in my brain. Like, each song is a different genre, so this is just a cool thing. Like, each song is very different, but at the same time, it like completes one another.
Right.
So that's the cool part about it. You're gonna get a different taste of everything. Like, FNJ's acoustic, like Off the Gas is very much hip hop, where Bad Time is like the pop kind of hip hop. Same Fit's very pop, and like FNJ is kind of like that acoustic, like kind of punk kind of vibe.
Yeah, it definitely has a little.
So it's like a taste of everything, which is something that I loved about the EP, like as a collective. It's like, if you don't like song 1, you're gonna like song 3 and 5. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is. Like, it's a little bit, it's every side of me, but like a little taste for everybody. So dope.
And I think too, when people, you know, the idea of the album and stuff is getting lost in the streaming sort of thing, where people only kind of listen to one track or another. But if you take something as like an experience like that, it will give people, you know, if they latch on to 1 or 2 songs, they'll probably even give the other stuff a chance, even if they hadn't the first time.
Totally.
You know, they might reevaluate and go, you know,
I like that reevaluate. Yeah, that's a nice word for it.
Yeah, because
I think you're right.
I think people, you know, and I see it too at live stuff too. Like, people online are very, very passionate in a harsh way about music.
Yeah.
They're a lot of people, I think, even without meaning to do it sometimes otherwise, but are very gatekeeping, and they're like, this is what this should sound like, and anything outside of that is just, it's horrible, it's terrible, it's the worst thing I've ever heard, that sort of thing. But it's funny because every couple of years somebody will come along, and whatever that genre is, they completely dismantle it and do something different, where everybody, oh my god, all of the people who are like into that, like, you know, I'm a metal guy, so perfect example. Like, when I was growing up, all of like the new metal stuff was, all the metal guys were like, oh my, this is not metal, this is not what it's supposed to sound, this is terrible, whatever. And now all of those guys, like the big successful guys that came out of that, your Korn and your Slipknot and your whatever, they're all the big guys who are doing these arenas. And clearly the opinions have shifted on that whole idea of what metal is. And then in the time that they've, you know, kind of, you know, hit their peak and, you know, waned, or however you want to look at that, other people have come along and changed. Okay, well, I'm going to use that bit of influence with maybe some classic metal influence, and I'm going to deliver this. And then the same people, the people that I grew up with, were, this is not metal. I can't believe you're doing this. This is not what metal's supposed to be. And the cycle continues over and over. And it's like everything has to be dismantled and then rearranged and put out there again to continue. Otherwise it dies, I feel.
No, I totally know what you mean. And it does kind of need like renewed sometimes, like the sound. So I definitely agree with that. I feel like people always have something to say, And it's always like, yeah, change is hard for people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that's gotta be it. Like, I struggle with it with one artist, but not much as in a group of like genre, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because a lot of people, I think, have an idea of who that artist is.
Yeah.
And then when they try to experiment, a lot of the fans kind of rebel and they're like, no,
Yeah.
I want it to,
I'm one of those.
to be this.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm like, go back. Please. Yeah, so this way, there's no fear of that. Like, I'm doing it all. Like, I will never go back. I will never, like, cut one. Like, it's just really everything that I would want to do. I don't know.
So, yeah, you're just going to keep messing with people, essentially. Just
Yeah.
when you think you know who
Yeah.
I am.
I'm gonna do something different. Yeah, that actually sounds just like me. So yes. Yeah.
But you know what, too? I think people also have a different experience live as well. Whereas, you know, people, you can't, people think like the internet isn't, I don't know if you guys know this, and I say this as an internet publication, the internet's not real. It's not an actual real place.
Yeah.
It's like a magic place where people pretend stuff and things like that and whatever. So in the real world, most people, if they, you know, go to a place and they see live music or whatever, they will pay attention. They will give it a chance. Whereas people on the internet, they immediately dismiss it. They might read, oh, you're emo hip hop. No, immediately, no,
Bye.
that's not interested. Not going to listen to that. Whatever. Whereas somebody walks into an open mic, for example, and they see somebody on stage, they're like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And they're going to watch and they're going to listen.
That's
for
my
a little
favorite.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people are way more open-minded than maybe they even give themselves credit for sometimes. Where you kind of have to experience something live. You know, I think that's why like opening bands are so important. Like a lot of venues around here used to have local openers for national acts.
Okay, yeah.
And you've kind of seen that gone away. It's starting to come back. I noticed the Kirby Center recently was doing that with a couple of things, and that's maybe because there's a new bunch of guys running the place there, and some of them have musical backgrounds or in bands and stuff too. So I think maybe they understand that's how you get somewhere. That's how you get noticed. Like you have to get in front of. So why not give that opportunity to a local artist who needs it the most?
Yeah, totally.
You know, if somebody's on a tour and they're opening, yeah, of course they need a chance as well. But you know, maybe before them, you know, put that local opener even on for 15, 20 minutes. Just give them a chance to get in front of people and get the experience and stuff of getting in front of a real crowd and stuff. So that, but I think that's a good way to convert people to fans.
Yeah, totally.
To actually, you know, and people need to be more open-minded in the sense of like, you know, turn your head for a minute, you know, like pay attention. You know, you'd be surprised.
Totally. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, people like instant gratification. Like if it's not like the first 5 seconds, isn't catching the attention. I kind of get it. Like I'm kind of one of those people. Like I do need it like in front of me.
Yeah.
To be able to sit there and like try something new. So I can understand like as someone that's what I mean. Like I really do understand. It's like I don't really expect much all the time. Like I'm always gonna put in my all when I perform. But like I try not to take it personal because as someone that like wouldn't always take something serious like that, I can respect it. Like it might take me. That's why I love the Emo Nights, man. Like I play to the same people a lot. Like there's a good mix of like regulars and then people that are new.
Okay.
So like I love like sometimes it's like by the 3rd time it's like I know your face, like I know who you are, see you sing My Chemical Romance like every Saturday. But like they just now are like coming up to me and like, yo, that was cool. And it's like I played that song for you 4 times. Like you know what I mean? Like so I get it. Like I'm seeing that in real life for myself. And I'm also like one of those people that need that.
For sure.
So I get it, yeah. No judgment to anyone. Like I'll keep playing in front of the same person 100 times. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna be a fan.
You're gonna like this.
Yeah. Trust me. Sit there and like it.
Yeah, like it's the Back to the Future line. Like your kids might like that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So You recorded at Wombat Studios?
Yeah.
In Lancaster? See,
Yeah.
I did it right.
Hey.
So what was that experience like? It seems like you found somebody who really kind of understands what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I love Wombat. Josh is a producer there, engineer. He does all of it. I've been going to him forever. Like, I will go to random people just to do it, but like if I'm doing something intentional, I'm going to Josh at Wombat. He's like, definitely, I don't know, I think it helps that he likes what I do and he supports it.
Yeah.
So I think that is helpful. Like, if you ever go to a studio, you can tell when someone cares and when someone doesn't care about what you're doing.
Right.
So Josh is someone that's always like cared, and that makes you feel good. Like, especially when I was going in there for the first time, he was like, this is dope, and I'm like, cool. I'm like, he thinks it's dope. Like, I'm gonna keep coming back here. Like, and eventually, like, I've been going to him for maybe like 2 years now, like a lot. So shout out Josh, because he really does get me. He gets the vision, and that's so helpful because I don't understand producing. Like, I don't understand how to explain to him what I want.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those people that's like, I want the ding, or like, I want this thing to do this, and I explain it just like that. So like, it is not well. Like, he'll tell me, I was like, I don't get what you're telling me, and I'll be like, I'll probably have to come in, and we'll just have to mess around. Yeah, he's a dope guy, man. Like, I love him. He really gets the vision, and that's a cool thing to me, because that's a hard thing to share.
Right.
Vision is a hard thing.
For sure. Did you have to do any, like, was he the first person you went to, or were there other people?
Yeah, I called. It was like during COVID, so like I called him, was just like, how does this work? Can I come in? And he's like, you just make an appointment. And I was like, let's do it. Like, let's make the appointment. Whatever we gotta do. Yeah, so, and that's pretty much what I did. It was just like, I Googled it, and it wasn't like a hip-hop centered one. I didn't want to go to a hip-hop centered, like, promoted, because I wasn't sure. Like, yeah, someone like me walking in there, I was like, dang, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, you just never know. So
sure.
I didn't want to, like, it's definitely like purpose, definitely meant to be type stuff that I got together with Josh, because he like specializes in hip-hop. That's like literally his thing. So it's cool that he like just didn't market it as such, and that's why I called him. So I was like, this will be good, because I felt like I was gonna get like what I needed from it.
Yeah.
In a uncomfy setting, possibly.
It's funny how those little pieces just kind of come together.
Right.
Because like, who would think a producer like that is in Lancaster of all places?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It just worked out that way.
It did. I know. It's so crazy. On Google.
So, you know what? We should check in on the comments, because I think we've got quite a few in there.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, we should see who we've got. Let the old look here. Find the good ones that are not just hello. Although
Hey.
we got Beatz. He gives one of these.
Hey yo. You already know.
Oh, there's this Mel guy who's like, who are these gorgeous people? Well,
You already know.
certainly not referring to me. Connor O'Brien gives a heart there. Keith Perks,
Yeah.
the man, says sicko mode.
Yo. Yeah, I love Keith, man.
That is a very specific reference. What is that to?
It's my neck tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, I guess, it is what it is. It's a neck tattoo. That says sicko mode. Like, yeah. I love that Keith loves it, because Keith was honestly my first real supporter of the sicko mode neck tat. I love that he loves it. Like, I actually tell people, like, I'm like, you know what, there's people out there that like it, and I'm referring to Keith. Like, there's not many people that like it, but I've always been one, and Keith has always supported it, so I love that. Yeah, sicko mode for real.
Let's see, Haley says Layul's in the house.
Facts.
Mr. Caviston says he liked the Wonder Years shout out.
Facts.
Haley says such a good inspirational message and pairing up with some hip hop pop punk, my two favorite genres. This is why you're my favorite.
Aw, that's so nice. Dang.
Mr. Silo Good gives a shout out.
Yo, shout out him.
Mm-hmm.
He was just up in Lancaster.
He was.
I think he just visited. I was like, man, you're in my country, man.
I just saw him yesterday.
Oh, word?
Actually, yeah, he was at the open mic.
Oh, that's
seen
cool.
him in a while. Him and Capital G. You ever seen them do their thing together?
No, not together.
Oh, it's pretty fun.
That's lit. I wish I would have seen it. I guess I can check it out.
Yeah, you can
on the live.
Go check on the live stream.
I might check it out on the live actually.
Yeah. Jack Swish gives
shout out him.
some fire.
We just did an interview with him and his team on Sunday actually.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I love what they're doing there because, you know, as an old man, you know, like we need the youths to come in there and actually represent, you know, because, I have my background, but, you know, growing up, I didn't want to hear what a 40-year-old had to say about music. I wanted to hear what a 20-year-old had to say about music.
Yeah, that's fair. You know? I get that.
So, like, those guys are doing it.
Yeah, they're great guys. I love how they're doing it. They're go-getters. Yeah. I think that's cool. They hustle. It's got
that good DIY flavor, which I like.
Definitely. Yeah, just doing what you can because you want to do it.
Absolutely.
I respect it.
Christina is also a diehard Wonder Years fan. So, yeah, I think because they also have that local or semi-local connection, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, I listened to them a lot growing up. A lot. I seen them one time at the Chameleon Club, RIP the Chameleon Club.
Oh, man, yeah. That was great. And Croc Rock. I miss Croc Rock in Allentown. That was probably a little before your before your time. But yeah, not for the artists, it was terrible. They all hated it. They hated work. They hated going there. They hated having to sell tickets to perform there. Yeah. They hated it. But as as a fan of like club-sized bands, it was perfect because it was easy to get to and it was cheap.
Yeah,
so
I get that.
Saw a lot of good bands there.
Yeah.
So I hate that the artists weren't treated well, but you know, what can you do?
Rip. That's why they're closed.
Yep, that's one of many reasons. Let's see. Tom says he loves seeing new artists. Us too. That's why we're here doing this.
Thank you, Tom.
Chone Ruth says off the gas is a heater.
Facts. He's definitely he's heard it. Tone Ruth is the guy. Shout out him. I wish he could be here. But yeah, Off the Gas is definitely a bang. I have played it live. Those people that have heard it, you know, it's another like catchy hook, man. You're gonna just listen to the hook. You're just gonna want to sing it all day, and you will.
Let's see. Haley says Layul has the shock factor. This is what wrote me in on Emo Night. I'm like, damn, this is good.
Yeah, the shock factor. I haven't heard that one in a phrase, but I like it actually.
Yeah.
The shock factor. I feel like I'm like in WWE or something. It's me. The shock factor. And I'm like 5'4", get up on stage. Everyone thinks I'm 13. And they're like, who let this kid into the bar? They're like, what's going on here? Yeah. That's very much a shock factor.
Maddie gives some hearts. Tyler says, Lidl.
Yo, I get that a lot actually. I don't know. That's mad funny.
Haley thinks she deserves that top fan badge. I think she does too.
Yeah, we can give it out. I never thought about it.
Yeah, there you go.
Just crown yourself.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, Pete says great interview. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's see. Mr. DJ Hirsch.
Hey.
He says, does Layul like X-Men? I just like X-Men. I just wear comic shirts every week.
You should have thought about me when you got dressed.
dress for the.
I kind of like X-Men, but I'm not like super big into it.
Okay.
I like Deadpool.
Could you pick a favorite?
Does he count?
Yeah, X-Men family.
Yeah,
he kind of counts.
Deadpool's definitely. I love it, man. It's so funny. But I guess the Wolverine movies were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Hugh Jackman is a great Wolverine.
Yeah, he's so fire. Yeah. He's great at everything. He's just good at what he does.
I know, right?
Yeah, he really is.
He played that so smart because in Australia he was like a soap opera actor and like stage actor and stuff like that. Yeah, that's.
I did not even know.
A lot of them start that way.
That
a lot of them, you gotta do something for money. And he got cast like they originally cast more of a name. He wasn't like a huge name. And then he ended up not being able to do it. Like he picked another movie. He ended up being like the villain in Mission Impossible 2, which was probably the biggest mistake of his career. Because nobody remembers that.
Yeah.
Well, he figured, at the time, comic book movies weren't what they are. True. So I think he thought like, oh yeah, this is gonna bomb. Like nobody's gonna see this. I'm gonna go with Mission Impossible because obviously it's a big franchise, whatever. That guy made a huge mistake, clearly. So then they cast him as like an unknown, and I'm like, that's the way they should go with a lot of these things. They should go with unknowns because you have these
blank
visions
slates
in mind of what. Yeah, for sure. And he came in and just kind of made it his own. Yeah. Despite being way too tall, because like Wolverine's like 5 foot nothing in the comics.
Rip.
Yeah.
Dang. Poor Wolverine.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But that's where the name comes from. He's a little, little guy who's angry,
So Wolverine.
They're kind of cute, really.
I didn't know it was a real thing, but I kind of got the hint right now.
Funny enough, he did not either. When he was cast in the role, he did not know that a Wolverine was an actual animal.
I'm like, what's bright yellow?
Yeah, he had
with claws.
They look more. They're kind of almost like a badger.
Yeah.
But with like these long kind of like. They really.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly not as intimidating.
Yeah, not.
This guy shows up and call it the badger. You're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it doesn't hit. Like Wolverine. Wolverine hits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I kind of get it now. Dang. Yeah, I had no idea. I've never heard of a Wolverine out in the wild. Like, I've never run into a Wolverine.
I think maybe it'd have to be Canadian because the guy who he's Canadian and the guy who created him was Canadian. Okay. So like I would think that probably had a factor.
Canadian.
Like yeah,
that actually makes.
He
more
probably
sense
ran
now.
into some Wolverines.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Dang. Oh, Canada. That's crazy.
Tyler says NASCAR is a heater. I don't know what that means. I don't know what NASCAR has this conversation. But hey, you could feel free to clarify. Joe asked me to ask you about the amazing venue at the Baltimore gig.
Yo. He always want to bring that up. I ain't gonna lie, that is not a real venue, but the people there, that show kind of went dumb. like I ain't gonna lie, like that was one of the craziest shows. Like there were not that many people, but it was so live.
Yeah.
Where was it? Like a Korean barbecue place. So yeah, Joe, talk about the venue in Baltimore. That's mad funny. Yeah. Yeah, shout out that place.
Not the best venue.
No, it wasn't, but it was so lit. It was so lit. The people that were there know it was lit. They know.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Wild.
Let's see. Tone Root says Wolverine is him. Yeah, I mean he definitely
Tone Ruth kind of wants to be
sure.
Wolverine, so it's kind of funny that we brought that up.
Yeah, I mean,
chat.
who like most people want to be Wolverine.
Yeah,
I was gonna say most guys, but I'm like, nah, just people in general. Who doesn't want to
be Wolverine?
Yeah, he's a badass. And the more when you get into like the comic side of it too, he's like the cool everything.
Yeah,
like it's not like in the movies he's just like, oh yeah, he's a cool badass, whatever. In the comics though, he's like this big womanizer.
Yeah.
He goes on these weird secret missions on his own and stuff. And he goes to this weird island called Madripoor and wears an eye patch for like no fuck. Well, he's like, yeah, I'm in disguise, and it's like you still got the weird hair though.
Yeah, the hair.
Everybody knows the hair.
Wolverine.
Like, yeah, you're not in disguise, dude.
That
you
like
also have the claw
DNA'd
thing.
into him, the hair shape.
Right, I guess it must be because they always just drew him that way.
Yeah.
You know, I always thought it was like maybe it was a gag, like the artist was just drawing the ears for the mask that he wears all the time, and then he took the mask off, and they thought, wouldn't it be funny if he just had pointy hair that was in the exact shape of his mask?
It totally could have been. Like
and I think it just caught on. He just kept drawing it that way.
He's like, one day I'm gonna be funny, and then it stuck for the rest of forever. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, because I'm like, man, did that happen before he was Wolverine, or when he was Wolverine, did it just shape? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Like, yeah.
Is that from birth?
Yeah, he just always have these little weird points in his hair.
Hair horns.
Yeah.
That's
I like too that I give the hairdresser in the first movie credit.
Yeah.
Where they're like, they tried to do it. They tried to actually like. They didn't try to do it like really big, but they tried to do it. And by the second movie, they're like, yeah, no, that was...
They said we're done.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Or Hugh Jackman was just like, I'm not putting that much fucking product in my hair. I'm sorry. Not.
It was probably like, yeah. I can't even imagine.
He's running around sweating with his shirt off and stuff, doing all the growling and shit. And it's like, all this hair product is just dripping into his face. Like, yeah, I can't imagine that lasted
He went
long.
through it. Yeah, he
did.
really went through it. That's so crazy to think. I just never even thought about it like that. Like, that makes so much sense. Dang.
I can go on about this comic shit all day. So we better get off that. Get back into the music stuff. But
love me some Wolverine. I guess that answers Hirsch's question.
Yes.
I guess we do like the X-Men.
Yeah.
What can we say?
Maybe future inspiration for a song. You never know.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Bet.
So your debut EP, Scene 1, will be released on Saturday, November 25th on all major streaming platforms.
I'm not gonna lie. It's not really. Like...
Is it on certain streaming platforms?
Guess I should make like the official announcement because I'm so weird. Like basically, that was like the OG plan, but we're gonna do it one by one, like one song at a time.
Okay.
So starting on that day, people are gonna get New Jersey.
Yeah.
November 25th, New Jersey. Boom. That starts the wave, the ripple effect of Layul's EP being released. So I think like every 2 weeks, we're gonna drop a song, and then I don't know if I should.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think about what I should say.
Okay.
I guess I should say that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it there, I guess, for now.
All right. Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna not put that back.
I did kind of trick everybody because I've been posting it too.
Yeah.
So gotcha.
You got us.
Gotcha. You thought. And you were kind of right, but not all of it at once.
Okay.
But that's on me for telling everybody.
All right. Well, what I can tell you for sure is that your EP release shows will be held on Wednesday, November 22nd at Phat Beatz, with Phat Beatz at the Woodlands in Wilkes-Barre. Saturday, November 25th, Emo Night at Tellus 360.
Yeah, hometown show at Tellus, the place that everybody loves.
Yes.
Just saying that.
In general.
in general, people do love it. They should come out to the show.
I've heard it's a great venue. I got to get down there sometime.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then Sunday, November 26th at Fall of the House Fest.
Yeah.
At Debonair Music Hall in Teaneck, New Jersey. I'm gonna go with that
I think that's it.
pronunciation.
Teaneck.
Yeah, Teaneck, sure.
Yeah, shout out Fall of the House. I'm stoked that this would be their first festival.
Okay.
I'm stoked that they asked me to be a part of it. And it's dope that it's in New Jersey. I'm
Right?
like, man, this is my first time playing in New Jersey. So
Okay.
it'll be like cool. I'm stoked.
The true test.
The true test. Yeah, how well will it hold? Yeah. I know. Good. My best friend is a big guy, so he comes with me kind of like my security. Maybe I'll need him. Maybe I won't.
No.
I don't know. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Nah, I'm stoked for that show. I think it'll be lit. Yeah.
So you will also perform now, going into the week after. Perform at Screaming Infidelities Emo Night events. 3 different ones. Friday, December 1st at the V Spot. Make sure you check that one out.
Shout
if you're
out the
local
V
around
Spot.
here.
Yeah.
Always
I love
great.
playing there. Yeah.
It's it's interesting. I would imagine from an artist perspective, it's kind of like a weird layout. It's like an interesting vibe in there, but it works somehow.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's just a vibe. I think you're right. It's.
It's the staff that really makes that place too.
Yeah, like really. Yeah. Every time I'm in there, I'm happy to be there, and I'm not like. Yeah, it's like. It's definitely different. It's different than a lot of places that I play, but I love it. I'll never not.
And they're probably one of the only bars in Scranton with an actual stage.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's lit. Yeah, that's dope. I did not know that. That's cool.
One of the very few.
Yeah, the staff, everything there.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, Mr. V.
Everything you want. And the one and only Vinny.
I was like, yeah, Mr. V, you already know.
And we have Saturday, December 2nd at Stage West and State College.
I'm stoked about that.
So do not go to Stage West in Scranton because it doesn't exist. It's not there. It's a restaurant now, though. It looks good, actually. I don't know. It's some kind of ethnic food. It looks delicious. I want to go in there at some point. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. So I'll get there eventually. So don't go to that one. Go to Stage West and State College.
Yeah.
Saturday, December 2nd. Have you been before?
I've been there like once or twice, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it there.
That's cool because that used to be a different venue at some point too. So that's kind of built.
Okay, word. I didn't know that.
Yeah, older place. I forget. I'm trying to think of the name off the top of my head. Can't remember. But Sunday, December 31st, you're at Harrisburg Midtown Arts Center. Yeah. Also another great venue that I hear great things about.
Yeah, definitely.
HMAC.
Definitely a great venue. Yeah, HMAC. Yeah, I like it there.
So how do you feel about ringing in the new year there?
I think it's gonna be wild. I think it's gonna be literally wild. I think it's perfect. I'm stoked that I have a show on New Year's Eve. I'm not really like a New Year's Eve kind of partier, so this will be like the best way that I could really bring in the new year for real, doing something that I want to do.
Right.
Yeah, it's so lit to me.
All right, well, that's our show. Unless there's anything else that you feel you want to add to the conversation, want to make sure that we get in there before we get out here.
I think it was awesome. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for driving up here too. Did you come up here just for this?
I did, just for you.
That's awesome. I greatly appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on.
Because we're trying to do it live and we're trying to do it in person whenever we can.
I like that better.
Yeah, I think so too. It works so much better in terms of the conversation. Not to there's plenty of great podcasts and stuff that do
totally.
Totally. So I don't want to disparage anybody, but like that's also our kind of way of like standing out and doing something different.
Totally. Yeah.
So hopefully all this was worth it.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was worth it.
It's a little chilly down here though now. That's the next thing I got is. So sorry if you heard the space heater at the beginning, but I get cold super easy. So like the interview I was doing last week, towards the end, I started like my hands were like this,
Yeah.
and I was like, I ate earlier. I'm not hungry. What? Oh, I'm just that
You're
fucking
like, I'm
cold.
cold down
Holy
here.
shit. All right. Yeah, we're wrapping up now. See you later.
Like,
okay.
I'm getting frostbite.
Bye.
In my hands. Yeah. That's hilarious, man. It's so funny.
So and thank you guys for hanging out with us in the
Well,
chat and watching the show. We greatly appreciate it. And make sure that you check out Layul while she's here, or if you drive down. If she drove up here for you, you can drive down there for sure. And we will see you here next Wednesday for a new podcast. I think next week we're maybe talking some ska. That's news to Justin, but yeah, we're talking some ska. So all right, we'll see you here next week. Have a good night, everybody.